We'll go ahead and start.
Moment of silence.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Wood?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lowry?
Here.
Councilmember Feller?
Here.
Councilmember Kern?
Here. Thank you very much. And it's Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you. The council met in closed session to have a conference with its labor negotiator involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association non-sworn, Western Council of Engineers, management employees of the City of Oceanside, Oceanside Fire Association, yes, and unrepresented employees. That is all.
Thank you. This is March 16th, 2016. Thank you. Welcome. We'll get started. First half of the council meeting, yes, again, starts at 6 o'clock for the second half. Thank you very much for being here. And with that, Mr. Clerk, could you start us off with the roll call and then the consent, roll call and a consent calendar?
Yes. Mayor Wood?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lowry?
Here.
Councilmember Feller?
Here.
Councilmember Kern?
Here.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Here.
Great. Consent calendar, items 2 through 15, and item number 13 has been removed from the agenda by staff.
Thank you very much. Any comments?
Second.
No public on this item.
No comment. Go back to us. Anyhow, with that, please vote.
Motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, at your free time, item number 16, please.
Yes. Item number 16 is approval of a 13-month professional services agreement from June 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2017 with 4 one-year renewal options with an admin in the initial amount of $291,200 for third-party administration of workers' compensation claims and authorization for the city manager to execute the agreement.
Thank you. Pat, good evening.
Good evening. The item you have, as Zach just explained, is a new third-party administrator contract for our workers' comp. I have a few people I just want to introduce so everybody knows who they are. Cynthia Tejan is the consultant that assisted us on the RFP process and throughout the whole evaluation period. She was working for the city of Escondido and retired and now does this for fun. Wow. The next person that I would like to introduce is Althea Vargas Flores, and her name's wrong up there, I apologize. She's the Vice President of AdminSure, which is the company that we are recommended for approval today to assume the third-party administration of our workers' comp claims. She is a former adjuster, and so she assures me she knows everything that goes on, and she is going to personally make sure our employees are happy to the extent she can make them happy within the law.
Thank you. She always carries around a case with her in her hands.
She's prepared. If you have any questions, she has her entire proposal memorized.
Thank you.
And then lastly, I would like to introduce you all to our brand-new risk manager who replaced Sharon LaRue. Paul Vogelsan joined us on Monday, and he brings a wealth of experience not only in the insurance world, but in the claims world. He's a former state and federal OSHA inspector, and first thing I checked was make sure all of our postings were up to date and passed. So I look forward to him working with us, and he will be around the city, and you will see him often. So,
thank you. Welcome, by the way. Thank you, all of you. Okay,
the actual contract that is before you today is a proposal that's a culmination of a many-month process. We issued the request for proposal back in October. We received a total of 11 responses from various vendors. Our evaluation committee invited 6 of those vendors to actually do presentations to us. That committee consisted of Cindy Tejan, myself, Sharon LaRue, the former risk manager, as well as Captain Sean Marchant from the Police Department, Division Manager Kyle Koger from Public Works, as well as Jane McPherson, our Financial Services Director, and Jody Benson, who is the Risk Manager of the City of Escondido. So we evaluated those 6 presentations, and narrowed it down to 3 vendors. Looks like I didn't keep all of my words on the screen there. I apologize. But the top 3 proposers were invited back in December for yet another round of interviews. And we narrowed it down finally to 2 vendors, and I recommended to the city manager that Adminster be the one that we pursue. The key professional services agreement items is, first and foremost, improved service to our injured employees with direct access to claims adjusters. Notification to all employees will be sent, whether they're an injured worker currently or not, as to our new provider. Alethea will be heading up and in charge of the entire transition, so I'm sure it will happen very effectively. The claims will be managed by 2 full-time adjusters and other support staff from their company. The transition will start tomorrow, assuming you approve this tonight. And in fact, we already have a meeting scheduled. The transition date, we will actually switch to Adminster on June the 1st. We have a 13-month agreement for the first year because we're starting 30 days early, followed by 4 one-year terms that will not come back to you each year unless for some reason either Adminster doesn't want us to be their client anymore, or we decide we don't want them to be our TPA. But I think we'll have a happy marriage here. They provide proactive claims management in that they communicate directly with the doctors and stay on top of things so that we're not continually having to follow up and find out what's going on. And the final bullet, which barely shows there, is that the proposal submitted by our current provider over the first 5 years, there's more than a $600,000 savings between our current provider and Adminster's proposal for their administrative costs. So not only will they give us better service, but it will be with some savings. So the staff recommendation before you today is that you approve the 13-month professional services agreement from June 1 of this year to June 30 of 2017 with the 4 one-year renewals to Adminster of Diamond Bar, California, and that our initial first year will be for $291,200, and we will start the transition for our new TPA. I'm available for questions, as are Cindy and Alethea.
Thank you very much. You can have a seat at sidebar where we'll find out any public on this.
No public.
Thank you. Back to the staff in a few minutes. Thank you very much. I met him just before we started. I think most of the employee groups are happy that the change took place, and hopefully we'll get some satisfied customers in the future. Anyhow, I appreciate it, and thank you very much. To the council, see Esther, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alethea, thank you so much for applying. One of the concerns that I had received from employees was a sense of lack of communication, and also a general sense of feeling like they're the opposition and not the employee. And we really value our employees. So I just want to thank you so much. I understand you have excellent people skills.
Thank you.
and relations with employees in general. So, and I also agree with the mayor that I understand that the employees are also looking forward to this relationship. So I move approval. Thank you very much and
Thank you.
welcome.
Second there. Mr. Feller, please.
Thank you. I had the discussion earlier with Pat in my office, and I can't say enough about being proactive for both sides of this, and there's always the issue of, are they trying to scam us, as well as, proper treatment of those that are truly in need of it. We've had a couple of tough experiences in the past, and so I look forward to your performance and see how you do in 5 years.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's all we have now, and I appreciate that we vote on this, please.
Yes.
Vote.
Ms. Sanchez, could you vote again? It didn't pick up your vote. Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Now you can get back in the traffic and get stuck. Mr. City Clerk, could we go to items number 28 and 29 for the city attorney, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 28 is the adoption of an ordinance of the City of Oceanside amending the zoning designation for certain real property located at the southeast corner of Mission Avenue and Canyon Drive from neighborhood commercial to general commercial with the plan block development overlay, Oceanside Plaza zone amendment.
Public?
No public on this
To
item.
us, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Sanchez, please.
Move adoption.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Item 29 is the adoption of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oceanside, California, amending Article 13, Chapter 7 of the Oceanside City Code to regulate medical cannabis deliveries originating from legal dispensaries outside of Oceanside.
Thank you. Public?
Yes, we have two members of the public wishing to speak on this item. First, we have David Newman. Second, we have Michelle Newman.
Thank you. Both of them are on.
All right, Dave Newman, Fire Mountain. I'm just here to clarify a few things from the last meeting. Councilmember Kern, you seem to liken our 1 hour delivery time as a pizza delivery, and that we couldn't get it faster than 30 minutes or less. And that is far from what we were trying to do. As a matter of fact, 1 hour. As a matter of fact, call Domino's and see if they'll deliver a pizza to the Oceanside. What they'll tell you is that we're out of range. We're out of their delivery area, which is the same answer you're going to get when trying to get cannabis delivered to Oceanside from San Diego. That's what we were trying to convey. Nothing about pizza delivery, nothing about being quick or on time, and nothing about having it delivered within 30 minutes or less. I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that so you understood completely what we were talking about. It's not a matter of getting it fast, it's a matter of it being an hour away. Not only does that delivery driver have to drive an hour here, they have to drive an hour back. Most of the dispensaries we talked to said, yes, that's a 2.5 hour excursion that they couldn't necessarily compensate for. That's what we were trying to say, and it really cuts down on the amount of Domino's that you can hire from, or order from, I should say. Councilmember Sanchez, while we agree that, or we love your passion and the fact that you wanted to get involved with this ordinance, but to throw an inordinate or arbitrary, thank you, a number like 5 or 6 a.m. because you heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend, and we've heard that song, is a little disconcerting, considering there is not one dispensary, and we called, that is open at 6 a.m. There is not one dispensary that is open at 7 a.m. There is a dispensary open at 8, but they don't start deliveries until 11. So while we appreciate you getting involved, we find it a little odd that you would just arbitrarily throw a number out there because you heard it from a friend, and these numbers are going into law, our law, and we find it a little odd that you think it's okay to write our laws in that manner just by arbitrarily throwing out a number. Quite frankly, you could have said snorkel. It would have been just as ridiculous or non-consequential, but it would have certainly been more entertaining. Attorney Mullen, you took a little ribbing from Amber last time we were here, and at the last minute you had to throw out, well, for the record, I consulted with Mr. Newman. I'm Mr. Newman, and I'm here to fix that record. We did not have a consultation. I'm just here to make that clear right now. If you're going to make false statements to the, here we go. If you're going to make false statements to the council, please do not interject my name. Go ahead.
No, you finish your comment.
No, I'm good.
He's got 3 seconds left, so I think we're
Yeah,
good.
so I'm going nowhere with this. Thank you.
We'll wait till the end of
So I can't comment?
I'm willing to. Okay. Okay. At this point, basically, we went ahead and we contacted 7 licensed dispensaries currently operating within the city and county of San Diego. Point Loma Patient Consumer Co-op, they do not deliver to Oceanside. Mankind Co-op does not deliver to Oceanside. Torrey Holistics does not deliver to Oceanside. Showgrow in Ramona does not deliver to Oceanside. Why? It's too far.
Outliers Collective uses a third-party app to handle its delivery, so from what we can tell, they would also be out because the third party is not a licensed dispensary and therefore would not qualify under the wording of this ordinance. We were only able to find 2 dispensaries that are currently willing to deliver to Oceanside, and they have minimum purchase amounts that range upwards to $300. Those were a Green Alternative and Southwest Patient Group. We went ahead and asked them a few more questions about the meat of the proposed ordinance to get their take. Well, they both agreed that the requiring an Oceanside City business license and with drivers being over the age of 21 were reasonable. The rest didn't get such a great review. On a side note, the ordinance does actually say that the drivers need to be 20 years old, so you might want to proofread before actually filing it. But that being said, according to both, the requirement for additional background checks seemed redundant and more about money than security because they've already had to go through background checks both through the city and county of San Diego, and the licensees themselves actually had to go through more extensive checks by both the FBI and the Department of Justice. I mean, you honestly think that OPD is going to find something that the FBI didn't? The $1 million insurance requirement was also deemed excessive, with one of the stores questioning whether or not obtaining such a policy on a basic delivery vehicle would even be possible, let alone affordable. Asking if the passage of this ordinance would affect their decision to deliver to Oceanside, one expressed doubt that deliveries would continue, while the other said they would do their best not to punish the patients of Oceanside for the actions of their counsel. Both agreed they would have to examine both the legal and financial impacts before making an absolute determination. They both also agreed that the added expenses of the restricted business license, repetitive background checks, and excessive insurance requirements could force the minimums to rise if they decide to keep delivering to Oceanside at all. Now, just to clear the air, when it comes to the dispensaries, you take such pride in having closed down. As much as I agree with the service they were attempting to provide to our community, when push comes to shove, they were in fact operating without a business license. The fact that they couldn't get one is about as short-sighted as it gets, considering even the Planning Commission recommended you draft an ordinance allowing for such dispensaries. But without any research at all, you decline their position, so it is what it is. We've lived in this city for 11 years and counting, and we love it here. We'd love to be able to move our organization here, contribute to our tax base, employ our residents into jobs, occupy some of these many empty storefronts that are polluting our downtown area. But you won't let us. You'd rather give all the potential gains to other cities, and in our opinion, that's incredibly unfortunate. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
No further public on this
Mr.
item.
City Attorney?
Thank you. I've already titled the ordinance, so you can go ahead and vote. 2 comments quickly from me. I did have an email communication, I believe, and I don't know if your name is David Newman or not, but I did have an email communication with Mr. Newman. I think it was sent to the council, and I said I consulted. So we had an email conversation back and forth where he requested that we allow cloneries, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. There was some questions that were raised that I attempted to answer. Okay.
Thank you.
The second thing is that we did make 2 typographical changes on this. It's on page 5, line 14, the reference to Health and Safety Code section 19340B has been changed to B. That's the appropriate cross-reference, and the 21 has been fixed in the copy that was provided to the city clerk for adoption. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Sanchez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And then on page 4, line with 25, that says each driver shall be 20 years of age or older. Oh, that was fixed. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much for the, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much for the comments. What I get from your comments is that you really feel very strongly that we should have a dispensary in Oceanside, or that we should not require that they be legal.
We're not suggesting the city endorse anything illegal.
Okay, I am not at this time prepared. Dispensaries are not part of this. I am not prepared to allow a dispensary in Oceanside, so I'm not here to talk about that, nor am I at a place in time that I would feel it's something I could support. I do appreciate your comments. At this time, I believe that I want to offer some relief to our residents, to our veterans, to those suffering who came to us and said, look, we need to be able to at least have deliveries, and that's what I'm supporting here, so I'm moving adoption. Thank you.
Mr. Kern, please.
And I'm going to second that. Just the one comment about delivery, and people are going to have to make business decisions, the idea whether they want to deliver in Oceanside or not. I am not going to change the ordinance to make it easier. You know, this is something that we're kind of trying to thread the needle here to tag on to what Councilmember Sanchez said. We're trying to afford relief for some of the people that really need this. And if we're going to really treat this as a medication, we're going to treat it as a medication. The delivery hours and all of those things we're going to keep in place. So whether, 2 years from now it changes, or even if the state requires or allows recreational use after November election, that may change. But right now, we're trying to reach those people who feel that this actually helps them. And so, to me, I'm not going to try to change a business model. So people are going to have to make that decision whether they want to deliver in Oceanside or not. If they're obviously in San Diego or Ramona, I wouldn't deliver. So, but the idea that if we're going to treat it like a medication, it's not going to be like for 1 hour delivery. I mean, you will know that and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but like I'm on blood pressure medication, which I didn't need before I took this job. But the idea, I order mine, weeks in advance. So the idea that people feel that this is
Excuse me, sir. You've already
so
finished
if people
your time.
feel that this is a medication that they need, I think they would order it at least maybe a week in advance or 3 weeks in advance or something. So there's plenty of time. It's not like it needs to be done within a 1 hour time frame when they can set up scheduling. So I second this. I am not going to go down the road about a dispensary because I don't think the public wants it. We are not going to go that way. So anyway, that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 3-2. Wood and Feller, no.
Thank you, folks. One quick, any other priorities here for you? What? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Clerk, in your opportunity, could we have council reports?
Yes, Mayor Wood.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Been busy, of course. Some of the people have noticed it's rained. We can use it, but it's been beautiful summer days otherwise. I've really been happy about the weather. I've been a couple of things. I visited the Oceanside Valley Little League opening ceremony, Eagle Scout Court honoring Taylor Jones, the Sandag Retreat, and that lasted about 3 days last week, the NAACP, the Salute for Women of Color Breakfast, welcome remarks for the Rental Owners and Property Managers Workshop hosted by Oceanside Neighborhood Services Department, and other things we went to, and that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor Lowry.
I've got an official announcement from the Oceanside Public Library. It says they're proud to present a free program featuring best-selling author Vanessa Diefenbaugh, who will discuss her mesmerizing, moving, and elegantly written debut novel, The Language of Flowers. She will speak about this on Saturday, March 19th at 5 p.m. in the Civic Center Library. At 6 p.m., there will be complimentary refreshments with the book for sale and signing options by the author. If you want to come to this free program, please register in advance online at the library's website. It says click on Adults tab near the top of the page, or you can probably try calling them if you don't want to do it online. In order to prepare for this special event, the Civic Center Library will close at 3 p.m. on March 19th, that is this Saturday. Mission Branch will be open until 6 p.m. And that's all I have to report on. Thank you.
Councilmember Feller.
Thank you. I as well was at the Valley Little League opening day. The Bill Horn State of the North County address addressed veterans, homelessness, and and trying to provide for them. He's definitely in support of that. I think, there's some opportunities out there for those that are providers of affordable housing. Went to the Marine Corps Battle Color ceremony. That's one of my favorite things all year long, so it was a great thing. Did right along with OPD. We arrested, my officer arrested a young lady that was on meth, and the process they have to go through just to get them off the street briefly, 8 to 10, 12 hours, and it's only a misdemeanor, and it's it's too bad because she was upsetting a lot of people in the Target area, and there's more that I was made aware of, and I will be discussing with the city manager. 6th anniversary of his house. It's a church on McDonald, right off Oceanside Boulevard, and they're kind of descendants of Ambassador. They were 6 years is a long time to celebrate when you're a new church. We do have Swami's ribbon cutting tomorrow at 10. Electric bikes chamber mixer tomorrow night, 5 to 7. The South O Hot Rod Show at South Oceanside Elementary Saturday at, it's all day, starting probably at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the Arts Commission is going to hold a public forum 5:30 to 7:30 on the 30th of March in the community rooms. And they're trying to encourage and promote the development and enjoyment of performing and visual arts in the city of Oceanside. So go to oceansidepubliclibrary.org to RSVP or call Kathy C.J. Demento at 435-5614. They're trying to figure how to make art and performing arts more and more involved in what we do is attracting people from outside the city. The last thing is a good friend, my good friend Mickey Todd, turns 100 on the 26th, and it's unbelievable the strong mind, the unwilling body, but the strong mind, and so that's quite a tremendous age to reach, and I'm just so happy she's able to spend time with me with that age. I mean, it's just unbelievable, and I wish we could get done early because I only have 2 baseball games to go to tonight. So, thank you.
Councilmember Kern.
Thank you. The only thing, speaking of art, we have a phantom gallery that's popped up in Oceanside. It's on Coast Highway behind, by the Artist Alley. It's in that 200 block of North Coast Highway. A couple blocks down from the Cigar Grotto. That's how I get my bearings on Coast Highway, know where the Cigar Grotto is. So it's a couple doors down, and it actually opened tomorrow night too. And it's got a reception for the artist on the 31st of March. So, there's a lot of art happening in Oceanside, and so it's becoming more vibrant community. And I think, with the library trying to bring more the performing arts. We do have the visual arts here, and there is some talk about doing more murals and things like that, but we do lack a little bit in the performing arts, so hopefully we can get that off the ground. most of the other stuff has been mentioned. The only other thing I want to mention, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, and I know people like to celebrate, but I just want to let you know that OPD is going to have the DUI checkpoint out. So the idea is, be cautious, all right? Thank you.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Thank you. Okay, Jack already mentioned Saturday, March 19th, this Saturday, the 4th Annual South O Hot Rod, Rat Rod, Custom Car and Bike Show taking place at South O Elementary School, and that's from 9 to 3. Next Thursday, March 24th, from 8 to 10, is Coffee with a Cop, and it's taking place this time at the Broken Yoke Restaurant on Vista Way, 2434 Vista Way in Oceanside. Saturday, March 26th, from 8 to 5, there will be a memorial surf contest fundraiser for Logan Lipton. This will be taking place at the North Jetty Harbor. For more information, please call 760-806-4905. That's 806-4905. And then also on the 26th, Saturday, we have several Easter egg hunts occurring, including Parks and Rec annual Easter egg hunt taking place at Buddy Todd Park from 10 to noon, and the East Side Neighborhood Association egg hunt taking place at Valderrama from 10 to 11. And then on Thursday, March 31st, another great program by our wonderful Oceanside Public Library. March 31st at 6 p.m. is the kickoff event for Latino Americans' 500 Years of History. It's taking place at the Oceanside Civic Center Library Community Rooms. Please join us at the Oceanside Public Library in welcoming Victor Villaseñor, author of Reign of Gold, a beautifully told true story featuring 3 generations of Villaseñor's family, tracing the migration that ultimately brought them from Mexico to Oceanside. And for further information, you can call the library 435-5600, 435-5600. April 1st is the first Friday of the month, and guess what? That's Art Walk, so please join us for Art Walk downtown. And before we meet again in April for our next council meeting, we will have the first day of spring, which is March 19th, 20th, depending on the daylight savings time, 19th, 20th, first day of spring, and Easter on March 27th. So happy spring, happy Easter, and we'll see you back again in April. Thanks.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have time-certain items on the calendar. It starts at 6 o'clock, so we have about 30 minutes to kill, so I'll excuse you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. The council met in closed session earlier this afternoon to discuss the status of labor negotiations involving the Oceanside Police Officers Association non-sworn, MECO, the Western Council of Engineers, and unrepresented employees. There is no action to report at this time.
Thank you. Ladies, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is the second half of a council meeting, and we really have a special event in the morning, in a few minutes, with a particular soccer team, and I'm very thrilled to have them here, but we'll get started in a few seconds with my aide, Debbie. She'll explain some things, and if you have a phone or a pager, maybe put it on silent. We would appreciate that. Go ahead, Debbie.
Please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Tonight's invocation will be given by City Clerk Zach Beck, who is also youth pastor for the Fields Church.
Please join me in bowing your heads. Father, we come before you to say thank you. Thank you for the privilege, the blessing, the honor it is to reside here in the city of Oceanside. We come together tonight as a diverse community, a community of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different presents, and different futures, yet one common goal, and that is the betterment of the city. We come together tonight to seek your guidance, wisdom, and discernment during the deliberations that transpire this evening, and in doing so, we lift up Councilmember Feller, Councilmember Kern, Councilmember Sanchez, Deputy Mayor Lowry, and Mayor Wood. May you grant them peace and wisdom during their discussions this evening, and may they make decisions that best improve the betterment of our city. We say all these things in your precious name. Amen.
Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Alex Romero, team captain of the Oceanside Breakers Boys U11 Black Soccer Team.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Thank you very much.
Okay, Alex, if you want to just stay up there. I'm going to now, yeah, you can stay there. We're going to do the Mayor's Youth Sports Recognition and Appreciation Award. With the following members of the 2016 State Cup champion Boys U11 Black Soccer Team, please come forward as your name is called.
State Cup champions.
Correct. Donovan Arzadi, Daniel Serta, Jonah Davidson, Jesse Gonzalez, Carlos Moreno, Brian Rivera, Daniel Sanchez, Elijah Ceballos, Bryce Dodd, Nathaniel Ermel, Felix Herrera, Humberto Rayo, Eduardo Salazar, Chris Savala. Could we also have head coach Jorge Garcia and team manager Rachel Dodd please come forward? The Oceanside Breaker Boys U11 Black Soccer Team got off to a tremendous start during preseason after an unprecedented coaching change just before the start of league play. Despite their minor setback, they rallied together and showed a tremendous display of teamwork and solidarity that allowed them to become the league champions. State Cup, which is the biggest postseason tournament in the region, started back on January 30th of this year with a total of 115 teams in the boys under 11 age bracket, representing the Southern California region. After 4 weeks of travel and some tough matchups, the boys were crowned State Cup champions on February 21st, showing great mental toughness and determination. Head coach Jorge Garcia would like to thank Coach Steve Davidson for all his help and all the wonderful parents for their support throughout the regular season and the State Cup run. He would also like to say a huge thank you to his manager, Rachel Dodd, for keeping him organized and the parents informed all season long. He is extremely proud of the boys and has no doubt that they will go on to be successful in all of their future endeavors. Please join me in a round of applause for the Oceanside Breakers Boys U11 Black Soccer Team, the 2016 State Cup champions.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Parents, with photos, you can move anywhere you want to take the pictures, move up, whatever. I have to say a few things about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Sports Award to introduce teams for ever different sports there is in town, because it gives a chance to show out in the public on TV. They've done something, but this time, state champions, wearing the name Oceanside. They represent all of us Oceansiders. To get state champions at this age is wonderful. I'm thrilled to death to have them here, and I'll let you have a few words from the coach and anybody else. But guys, I want to thank you for everything you did for the city of Oceanside. Coach?
Honorable Mayor, Councilmen, women, I just want to say thanks for the city of Oceanside for all the support that they've given Fields, all the resources that they've given, and these boys really did Oceanside proud, like the mayor said, showing respect, dignity, good sportsmanship throughout the long tournament, so the continued support from the parents and the club, we appreciate it dearly from the city, and that, you know, I'm sure Frank Zimmerman, our director of coaches, was here, he could be expressing the same words and just all the support that we get from the city of Oceanside. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not going to miss.
Well, this has been a great season with these boys. I feel very privileged to have gotten to know them over the last couple of years, actually, and they are remarkable. And Coach George, really stepping up and really just a role model for these boys as well. And thank you, Mayor, for this privilege for being here. We really, really are thankful for it. Thank you very much.
Go ahead and, well, can take a picture. I don't know how we do. Some of us have to get back. Anyhow, you can...
Mr. Mayor, I understand the coach is a city employee, too.
Come on, guys, please. Come on, this is a state champion team. Thank you. Yeah, now, anyhow, when they leave, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Okay, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
Wait, stay where you're all. Come on, folks, move up here. Get it out of the way. We've had several teams go to state champions and national champions wearing the name Oceanside representing us, and we really appreciate it. Coach, you don't have to have anybody stay here. When you leave, you can go ahead. Thank you. Let's hear it for this team.
Next, we have the Mayor's Business Member Spotlight. I would like to invite the following Chamber of Commerce members forward. David Nidegger, President and CEO. Business Member Spotlight recipients Shannon and Alicia Sager, owners of Breakwater Brewing. Father Phil Sagan. Son Keenan Sagan. Sager.
and Manager James Keller.
Okay, we got everybody. Yeah, good job. Mayor, again, this Chamber of Commerce sincerely appreciates this opportunity to identify our businesses here in town and show them, show the entire community of Oceanside what the business folks mean and what we do down at Chamber. It's my privilege to honor Breakwater Brewery this time for many, many reasons. First of all, they were the first brewery in downtown Oceanside with a restaurant. That's an outstanding job. 20 old. It was a while. No, it was 7 years ago, right? 8 years now. 8 years ago, they opened up right down on Coast Highway, right at 101, North 101 Street. Highway 101. 101, great, absolutely. Well, anyway, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, City of Oceanside, thank you all, and thanks for having your staff here today, and we'd like to give you this proclamation or certificate of appreciation. Thank you.
It's been a long time. That's for her. She works the hardest out of everybody. No, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody. It's been, a long time. When we first opened up, I was really afraid. I wasn't sure if we're going to make it, and with the support of everybody, I just wanted to say thanks. It's been amazing how much support I've gotten from the city, and I honestly don't think I could have made it without that. It was a couple of years there at the beginning. I was a little nervous, but the city itself has turned around 300%. I thank the police officers every time I get a chance. James has been with me for years before we opened up, and he's watched the change as well. He's my security / me when I'm not there, and he sees the same thing. It's a night and day difference now from what it was when we opened up, and that's what made me nervous at the beginning. And to see it turn around the way it did, it makes me feel like I did the right thing and invested in Oceanside. I thank everybody for that. I thank you.
Hi.
She threw you a kiss, by the way.
I was remiss. Shannon and Breakwater have been great supporters of a lot of the community events. They were at the Oceanside Taste we had up at the golf course a while ago. They're always at our business showcase and our expo that we have, and they're always there promoting their product, and we appreciate that and all you do for the community. Thank you.
Not much to say other than a proud dad. I think he's done a great job.
I just want to say, thanks for recognizing all that Shannon's done, and come see us.
We're going to take another break. From the chamber, thank you, David, for bringing in all these different businesses. But again, thank you very much for being here and helping Oceanside, and I appreciate it. Ladies, let's hear for them. Thank you.
Yeah, we just have one more presentation by Gina Thomas for the Ironman 70.3. Gina is the race director. Come on down, Gina. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. The Ironman 2016, the official name is Ironman 70.3 California at Oceanside Triathlon. 70.3 stands for the number of miles that the athletes will complete in that day. The event happens on Saturday, April 2nd. The swim is a 1.2-mile swim in the harbor with a 56-mile bike ride through Camp Pendleton, through San Clemente State Park, and then back through Camp Pendleton to the harbor. And then they do a 2-loop run, a 13.1-mile run along the Strand. They go up and down the pier, not all the way, but just on the the concrete part, and all the way down to the south end of, to Eaton and back with the finish line at the pier there. This is the 15th year that the city of Oceanside has hosted it. It is, it is the 12th year that I've been a part of it, the last 7 years being the race director. So along with Leslie Gull from Visit Oceanside and of course Terry Goodman with Special Events, we have worked, yep, he's here. We have worked really hard as to what our focus is, and one of the things was to turn it from just an event where athletes came the night before, did the race, and then headed back. And since 2010, when I took over as race director, to now, athletes, instead of staying 1 to 3 nights, are now staying 5 to 9 nights, because 84% of our field is now traveling here, and this includes worldwide. This is global people, global athletes that are coming. We have one of the largest pro fields where they can qualify for the 70.3 championships, which is held in the Gold Coast in Australia. As well as I found out from Leslie Gull that the STAR report she looked at, we generate the highest amount of revenue for events. So I'm excited to help promote. Our biggest thing is getting with the hotels, the businesses. She has a landing page so that we can help promote our city, and I do quite a bit to try to internally within our own city provide the needs of the race as well. One of the things that we have done is last July, we opened up our registration. We sold out in 8.5 hours to 3,100 participants. That's not including our Challenge Athlete Foundation fundraising group, nor does that include our Ironman Foundation registrants, which that puts money back into the community. And from that Ironman Foundation, we actually put $25,000 back into the community through various youth groups and nonprofits throughout the city. As well as this year, I'm really excited, Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation partnered up with Ironman Foundation, chose our race to be one of the recipients, and I found out that we are awarding a grant to Oceanside Fire Department Lifeguard Division, a brand new wave runner valued over $10,000. So we are very thankful for that. We understand the importance and the tremendous work of the Lifeguard Division. My sons are junior guards, and so we know that this is a very vital piece of equipment that is needed. So we are very excited about that. We're going to do a check presentation on April 1st, that Friday at 2 p.m. We'll be presenting that check, as well as we would love, with that $25,000 from the Ironman Foundation entries, we would love to have the council members there so that we could present the checks to you, that check as well. So just let me know. Also on April 1st is our Iron Kids 1 mile run at 5 p.m., which is always fun to see. And we have determined that even the little kids that were doing the quarter mile, that was just too short. So we're going to change the quarter mile to a half a mile. Wow. And this year we're looking at about 700 kids participating. So it's going to be really exciting to see that. The other thing that Leslie did let me know was that a number of our European athletes that come to this race are now coming in the month of October. I don't know what goes on in October in Europe, but they seem to be coming in. She was going through, and a number of them had said we had participated in Oceanside, and now we're coming back with more of the family. So it's more than just a one-year destination for the European market. So we're looking at how can we boost that up even more. The really cool thing, and I got it just today, we might change the name. We might take California out, and it might be called Ironman 70.3 Oceanside. So I'm really excited about that. So, but with that, I love the support of the community. I try to work really hard. being a former slip runner, live aboard, I know how events impact everybody, so I really try and strive to get feedback and work as much as I can to lessen the impact on everybody, but at the same time maximize the fact that we have conservatively 15,000 people visiting our event. So I want all of our businesses to take advantage of that and just generate more things for our city so we can beautify it even more. So, but with that, we hope to see you all at April 2nd. The mayor is going to be shooting off the gun at 6:40, and off we go. 6:40? Yes, 6:40.
First off, 15 years, it's been fantastic. And being here in Oceanside, ladies and gentlemen, who haven't gone in the morning, to see how many participants are in the harbor up and early in the morning, riding around, running, getting ready for it. It's amazing. Why they jump in the water that time in the morning, I don't know, but they do. And for you, I'd like to get one of the applications of that gentleman, a little Lightfoot from Lightfoot. He wants to be in the 71.1 miles, right? A little close out your career by he'd be absolutely happy that you gave him an application. Thank you.
So Jack, did you get your application in this year?
Actually, I'm getting my car tuned up so I can go the first 70 miles in the car. So.
I'd see us at the half mile for the kids.
We'll let you lead.
Thank you very much for
Thank you very much.
No, I thank you very much. And let's give them a long...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Public communications, do we have any?
Yes, we do. Yes, at this time, Jimmy Knott may come forward.
Mayor, council members, Jimmy Knott, 127 Sherry Lane. One thing I want to report back to you on is that the last public meeting that we had, I mentioned about the Lions Club get the site. Well, I attended that. There were well over 500 people that attended, and I want to take and thank the Lions Club for their offering. And they distributed over 400 pair of recycled glasses. And there was one incident that really touched my heart that I wanted to relate to you. There was one girl there that received, she was about 9 years old, I think, a pair of glasses. And apparently she had not seen her brother very well, her baby brother very well. And when she put it on, she was really excited. And the first thing she wanted to do to see her baby brother. And when you see something like that, that touches your heart. And that was worth the whole day for that. So I just wanted, again, to say thank you to the Lions Club. Thank you.
Next, we have Greg Abrams.
My name's Greg Abrams. I live at 1501 Del Mar Road, Oceanside, California. I'm here to, I guess, in opposition of proposed digital billboards on 76. I'm a little shocked at the idea of a digital billboard in Oceanside, let alone on the 76. But, you know, my biggest concern is really blight. I look at this and I say, you know, when I think of billboards and digital billboards, I think of Riverside, I think of Las Vegas, I think of areas where they're not aesthetically pleasing, and it's certainly not in tune with the beautification that we've been talking about with the rest of the city. In my opinion, it seems like it's a shame to have a beautiful picture of the Mission over here, and then a possible digital billboard in place between the Mission and the pier. I mean, it makes no sense to me. So I just wanted to say that, and I'm in opposition of that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jane Marshall.
Hello, I'm Patty Roth, and I live in Oceanside, California, off of Golfers Drive. I'm very concerned about the possible approval of the billboard that's going up on 76. I think we had a wonderful meeting so far tonight, and things to be proud of, and I don't think that would be one that we could say we are proud of for Oceanside, California. So I hope that will be voted down. Thank you.
Next, we have Cindy Rocco.
Can I get something to show up there? You want to talk to them?
If you
I don't have it on a
if you
USB.
angle it,
Oh.
I can try.
Okay, thanks. Oh, you can't see that. Well, it'll be there. Anyway, I'm here about the digital billboards in advance because I think there's about 2 or 3 applications out there. And the desired outcome that I would like is for Agenda 33, I think it's C, or I'm not sure which one it is to change the code and nip it in the bud, because in the future it will get out of control with technology. And I'd like to see an amendment back on the LCP and the LUP. I ask, please, to prevent visual noise, keep people safe in Oceanside, and keep our coastal identity. Because what is the true long-term desired outcome for the city? And I know that tourism is going to be our most lucrative, besides the income from that. The money from tourism supports even countries and islands, and I think it's approximately $800,000 from the leased land a year. I'm not really 100% sure, but in comparison of the loss of identity and anything associated with tourism, I think it's a big cost. Ted Turner made billions in billboard advertising. That's how he made a ton of money. But, so advertising companies and the companies that advertise are the only winners. We will get basically nominally a trickle. I ask that we don't just rely on homogeneous environmental impact studies or the myopic scope of a consultant. Don't take the ad agency, their crash and accident reports at face value. I like to read independently with 6 people determining, you're going to be determining the unknown or using unknown technological future technology that we're not even fully aware of, which one of them is interactive. I have an excellent website that actually has 30 years of, it's a peer-reviewed professional journal, over 30 years of traffic billboard studies from globally, which I will get to you. And you won't be able to control the results once you put these up, because technology is just going to go in leaps and bounds. For example, right now, I don't have it up there, but there is one for McDonald's, and when you're, this is an interactive one, where it says, catch a photo of a sundae and get one for free. So you're taking off, you're looking lateral and not longitudinally, which is the biggest cause of accidents. And are 6 people willing to sacrifice who we're becoming in our coastal identity at the touchstone of tourism? Can you prove that Agenda 33 comprehensive sign package truly is in our best interest? If not, amend and recodify. And please be the stewards of our tomorrow today. Thank you. And I was going to have the billboards going because it's a distractibility. It was supposed to kind of simulate going on the highways, but that didn't quite work out, so. But if any of you caught yourself looking, that's what happens on the highway. Thank you.
Next, we have Dirk Akama.
Good evening, Mayor Wood, City Council members. My name is Dirk Akama. I've lived in the city of Oceanside for the past 27 years, and I've owned a home here. With guidance from the City Council, Oceanside has evolved from a seedy town known for strip clubs and hookers to a town that's a hip destination with bistros, breweries, and beer gardens. We should protect and preserve the charm which Oceanside enjoys. I would like to reinforce my objection to proposed electronic billboards to be placed in the city on city property for several reasons. First, installation of these large flashing billboards pose a distraction to drivers and could result in serious accidents. Secondly, nighttime flashing light pollution would disrupt surrounding residents and possibly harm the sensitive ecosystem. Most important to me, though, is the aesthetic concern of littering our landscape with unsightly, annoying, and exploitive advertising, sending a message to travelers that Oceanside has sold out to corporate greed. The City Council has received over 800 petitions from Oceanside residents who also oppose electronic billboards. This is a very polarizing issue among a lot of residents who strongly object to this type of development. There's a growing grassroots effort to prevent electronic billboards in Oceanside. During an election year where 3 seats on the City Council are being contested, it could prove to be very unpopular for the election. When the City Council considers these 2 proposals to erect electronic billboards, I hope that each council member will disclose whether they have a personal or friendly relationship or have received any contributions from any of these developers. If there is any relationship between a council person and a developer, I would certainly expect that they would exclude themselves from the vote to consider this type of development. Let me emphasize a previous lawsuit that was filed by Lamar Advertising, who was proposing to erect an electronic billboard on 76 at Airport regarding a previous situation that happened in the city of Pittsburgh in 2009. Lamar extended a Christmas gift to a city official in Pittsburgh. The official subsequently granted a no-bid contract to erect a large electronic billboard in the city. Residents found out about it. I have that. As soon as you finish, I'll wind it up because the time's up. Okay? I will. Residents found out about it. They were outraged at the situation. The city official was forced to resign amongst ethical violations, and the billboard was never installed. However, Lamar sued the city of Pittsburgh for over $1 million to recoup damages that they had incurred over the process of it. This is just one example of the many lawsuits that Lamar has been embroiled in with city governments across the country. There is something redeeming that the City Council can now take action on. With the local resident objections which have been received, the City Council should recognize that billboards are not welcome in Oceanside. The City Council should amend our sign ordinance.
If you could please expedite the process of finishing. I'm so
Pardon?
sorry. If you could please expedite the time of finishing your speech because we're
Ten
about a minute
seconds.
over. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
The city council should amend their sign ordinance to prohibit all electronic billboards within the city. Let's preserve, protect, and ensure that we retain the charm which Oceanside enjoys. Thank you. I hope to have your support.
Thank you. Next, we have Lisa Hamilton.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, and City Manager. I'm Lisa Hamilton. I live at 323 South Ditmar in Oceanside, and I too am speaking about not installing electronic digital billboards. Over the past 4 weeks, we've had a number of people who have been going door to door, knocking on doors, and talking to people, Oceanside residents, about their feelings about digital electronic billboards. I probably have knocked on 300 doors myself. I would say, I like canvassing. I would say that about 4% of people said, I don't care, I can't see it from my house, or I don't sign anything, I don't care what it is. Or a rare person said, I need to get a little more information, I'd like to look it up, and I will email the city council. The vast majority of people said, where do I sign? I have people who signed my petitions from age 18 to age 96. They all opposed these billboards as a distraction to drivers and felt that they did not want to see them in Oceanside, especially on the 76, already a very dangerous road, or the 78, where they would be installed near College, where people are thinking about getting off at College, and there's a lot of traffic, and it's very busy. And I understand that a new application, there was one on 78 at Rancho Del Oro, and I understand that a new one has just been submitted for behind Mossy Nissan, about a quarter of a mile down the road, really close to the College exit. These signs change displays every 4 to 6 seconds. They're made to be distracting to drivers. They're especially distracting at night. They're made to be very visible. They're not like static billboards at all. Static billboards do have a display, they are lit, but the light from the LED billboards is something very, very different. So I ask that you deny these applications for these electronic billboards. If we even get one, we're going to have 20, because other companies are going to want to sue the city and have the same opportunity to exercise their First Amendment rights. Thank you.
Next, we have Liemi Martinez.
You can pull all the way in, both podiums. Yeah, straight up.
Hi, good evening, City Council. My name is Liemi Martinez, and I'm from El Camino High School. The reason we came today to speak to you on behalf of all of our peers is that what we wanted to at first talk against the easier access to marijuana delivery. We realized that has already been passed, but you moved it to the very front, and this attempt to silence the voice of our youth did not work. Marijuana is still a risk among our classmates in our community, and this will only advocate, our voice will only become louder now than ever since we passed this. When we tried to silence our voice, we were going to talk to you about the risks of marijuana and how we've all been, our classmates and ourselves have been victims to this drug. We're tired of being a victim to this drug, and your fatal decision today is going to continue making us victims to this drug, as well as your classmates. We ask you to consider this decision you made today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Crystal Conrad.
My name is Crystal Corral, and I am a student at Oceanside High School and a member of
the Resistance Club. Our club supports the efforts of the North Coastal Prevention Coalition. Their board president, Mr. Craig Baldwin, was not able to be here this evening, but asked that we share some of their letter that was sent to you on Friday. NCPC is concerned by the council's decision to allow marijuana delivery services in Oceanside and hopes you may reconsider the public health and safety implications of this decision. The March 2nd, 2016 staff report included statistics from OPD involving marijuana-related crime. Considering OPD's opposition to this ordinance, we would encourage the council to follow their expert recommendations. We understand the council's desire to meet the needs of all its residents, but marijuana remains an illegal substance under current federal law. Pharmaceutical-grade THC is the form of marijuana, is an FDA-approved medication that is available in licensed pharmacies by prescription. Marijuana dispensaries and delivery services have no regulation to ensure product potency, safety, and quality. Smoked marijuana has also the potential to impact family members and neighbors in form of the secondhand smoke. While city's proposed ordinance includes regulations and safeguards, it opens the doors to increase marijuana availability and youth access, and more illegal delivery services coming to Oceanside. It will be extremely challenging, if not impossible, to monitor that deliveries are not made to adolescents. And CPC has been following these types of policies around the county and the state, that recognizes the challenges in regulating an industry that does not follow regulations. The city has spent significant resources closing illegal dispensaries, and additional resources will be required. The attempt to regulate deliveries. We hope that the council will consider this decision and continue to hold the line against marijuana dispensaries and delivery services in the city of Oceanside. We thank you for your consideration.
And last, we have Yoli Delgado.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. We know that a decision has already been on the marijuana deliveries, but we would still like to voice our opinion. My name is Yoli Delgado, and I am a student at Oceanside High School, and we are part of the Be the Resistance Club and Rise Above from El Camino. We are here to speak against the decision that was made for marijuana deliveries. We believe that with the marijuana deliveries in our city, it puts our city's youth at risk and also our public, especially those like us who choose not to use marijuana. We believe that these marijuana deliveries are going to make marijuana more accessible to our youth and our public. We would hate to see an increase of marijuana use in our high schools, our middle schools. These are the schools that our children, neighbors, brothers, sisters, and the future leaders attend. We are very concerned and disappointed in the decision that has been made. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. No further public.
Mr. Mayor, I want to say that I am very, very proud of you, each one of you, for coming and speaking today. I'm sorry that you missed the item earlier, but I want to say that I know we've all been thinking about our youth, and we decided to take a very strong position against dispensaries in Oceanside. We also took a very strong position against cultivation in Oceanside for the reasons that you've stated. So I want to tell you that I'm very proud of you. What we wanted to do was balance the need of some of our veterans and some of our other residents who came and said they needed this for their pain. We're hoping that with the regulations that we have passed, that it will not affect or impact our youth. I know that there was a dispensary in the East Side, and it definitely impacted very negatively our youth in East Side. So it was illegal, and we tried to stop it as soon as we could. And so for you, I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for sticking to what you believe. And
Mayor?
thank you. Bye.
Mayor, I just so wish you would have been here for the crux of the meeting. I don't know, maybe you would have swayed one more of the council members to come your way. You're talking about all access, not just the dispensaries. So I applaud you for taking a stand for the rest of your generation. Thank you.
So are all of you Oceanside High School students? Some of you are Oceanside High School students? Well, we listen to you whether you're a student or not, and it's really important to the City Council that we know what your concerns are, and whether or not your parents are with you, or whether or not it's really important that we know in advance of voting on issues. So I don't know how you can stay ahead of that, but if the organization that has helped you get here today knows about issues, they seem to follow things pretty well. But there's also a City of Oceanside website, and we almost always have some kinds of issues that would be of concern to youth and families that live in the community, especially in this part of the city here, which is the area that some of us live in. But 3 of us are Oceanside High School graduates, so we especially listen to you. So anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you.
I'm not an Oceanside High graduate, but I have a whole bunch of grandkids going through El Camino. So
One last thing. Like Councilmember Sanchez, I thank you for coming here and representing the youth on your issues, not only this, but the other ones. You've been here before, and I know that the young lady sitting over there is your guardian angel. Thank you very much. And I do respect the fact that you came here and talked in front of the council, everybody on TV. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No further public on item number 23.
Thank you very much. And if you have a moment, item number 24, please.
Yes. Item number 24 is introduction of an ordinance approving zone amendment ZA 13-0009, amending the official zoning map designation of a 37.5 gross acre property from the agricultural zone district to the residential estate aid zone district for a proposed 27-lot residential estate subdivision located at the north end of Stallion Drive, north of the intersection of Stallion Drive and North River Road, Bree Property Subdivision, applicant Bree Company, LLC.
Thank you. And as you know, as mayor, I will open this public hearing and request disclosures from the council members. I'll start with you, Jack.
So I've had staff as well as applicants representative. I had occasion to visit with Mrs. Bree at a Lutheran church about 6 or 7 years ago. So we are grateful to their service to the community for all these years. That's it.
I had contact with the applicant, also with the applicant's consultant, also with the staff. I think that pretty much covers it.
Basically, staff.
I had some communications with public, also with Ms. Bree. I think I want to say it was a few years ago as well as recently with the new plan, and of course Mr. Lou Lightfoot and with staff.
The applicant's representative and staff.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, correspondence and petitions.
All correspondences have been provided to the council.
Thank you very much. And with that, I notice we have William Ramsey here, but I think we'll go with you, Jeff.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Jeff Hunt, City Planner. This agenda item involves an inconsistency between the city's general plan designation for the subject property and the zoning for the property. The California Supreme Court has described general plans as the constitution for future development of a city. It's a common practice or principle in city planning that the zoning is adopted or changed to implement the general plan and not the other way around. In this method, the general plan sets the city's vision for the future use of that property. And with that, I'll turn it over to Bill Ramsey, who will give a detailed staff presentation.
Thank you, Jeff. And Mr. Ramsey, thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor Wood, members of the council. Thank you, Mr. Hunt. That was a good introduction by Mr. Hunt to explain the fact that we've got a situation here where we have an inconsistency between the general plan and the official zone map. And a good place to start with the discussion is a little bit of background. Going back to 1958, this property was zoned general agriculture. It was an operating chicken ranch for a number of years. In the 1960s, a single-family home was built on the property, and that's been occupied for about 50 years. The 1968 land use plan of the general plan introduced this concept of a holding zone. And at that time, the city moved ahead with designating that property, or entered into dialogue contemplating a change to that property. And then subsequently, in 1975, they actually took the action to change that land use designation. So it raises the question, why would they not have changed the zoning at that time? And I think the explanation is fairly straightforward. The zoning is a factor that enters into the assessed value of the property, the amount of taxes folks pay. And so by having the general plan designation, that established a land use policy that the city envisioned that the property would be developed with residential estates at some point in the future, but in the interim, they wanted to allow agricultural use and not create that potential impact on the property. As Mr. Hunt indicated, it's a zone map amendment this evening. I don't want to understate the importance of this legislative act, but it is something of a house cleaning item. Again, because the zoning needs to be consistent with the general plan, we have this amendment before the council this evening. The graphic shows the existing and proposed zoning, and I'm going to use the mouse here to identify the property. I think most of council and the audience know the location, but pointing to the monitor, I'm going to outline that 38-acre Bree property on the existing zoning. And we can see that the existing zoning is residential to the south and to the east. It does have a master plan designation. As we get to the north, that's a residential golf course community, Arrowwood. And so this property is completely surrounded by existing residential uses with the exception of that agricultural land to the east. And this line here that I'm going to trace, this line establishes a fairly clear demarcation between more intensive residential development and agricultural development. That line actually, if we could step back and blow this up, that line extends all the way to the north till it hits the northern city limit. And so that's that demarcation between agricultural and residential. This is the concept. We wanted to share this with council to show that to show the intensity of the project. All of these lots are at least an acre. Pads are 10,000 square foot. This particular plan, including all the landscape plans, grading plans, what have you, those were reviewed by Planning Commission back on the 11th of January. At that time, the commission approved those as well as a conditional use permit and a tract map. And this subdivision involves the development of 27 single-family residential lots. We've done the analysis. There are a number of criteria. We've looked at the criteria established by the zoning code, evaluated this project, and determined and recommend that the city council make findings that this project is substantially consistent with the general plan. I touched a little bit on the Planning Commission review. Not only did they approve all the discretionary applications back on the 11th, they did approve a mitigated negative declaration along with mitigation measures, and they made findings pursuant to CEQA. The most important part of that action on the 11th was that Commission did recommend City Council approval of the zone amendment. Just want to touch on community outreach. Last April, City Council adopted new policy on enhanced notification. The applicant's consultant, Lightfoot Planning Group, has done, I think, an exceptional job of creating a community outreach plan, engaging local communities, meeting with HOAs, and resolving the issues that those persons and those organizations brought to the attention of the representative. This evening, staff is recommending that the City Council, by motion, introduce this ordinance amending the official zoning map and changing the designation from agricultural zone district to residential estate A zone district. And with that, that concludes my presentation. I'd be glad to answer any questions. And Mr. Lightfoot is here this evening also with a presentation.
Thank you. Have a seat at the sidebar.
At this time, Mr. Lightfoot may provide his presentation on behalf of Bree Company LLC.
Excuse me before you get up there, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lightfoot, you used to work here for the city. I understand there's a possibility this is the last time he's going to present something to Oceanside.
Oh, you said that before.
I may be wrong, but anyhow, I wanted to mention it's been an honor for several years, either working with you and you being from the outside, bringing cases to us. I'm really honored that having you here on your potentially last case before your big vacation or whatever. I just want to clarify that and thank you. Here.
Maybe we could get Ann up instead. Maybe we could get Ann up here instead.
Ann's still working. And there is nothing else on my desk. This is it. I'll have to say I'm, for the most part, very, very proud of all the work I've done in Oceanside, and tonight is no exception. I'm representing Doreen Bree, who is the owner and applicant for the project. As staff indicated, you could probably say that this zone change has been in the works for over 40 years. The city put the property in the zone in the sewer district back in the early 70s. They included it in the low-density residential transition zone between Mesa Margarita and Morrow Hills. They did that in 1975. They reaffirmed that with the new land use element in 1986. Mr. Bree took the action to take the property out of the agricultural preserve in 1989, right after the new zoning ordinance was adopted. As you know, it takes 10 years to get out of an ag preserve, so it really wasn't out of the ag preserve until 1999. And couldn't really be zoned residential until it went out of that ag preserve. Unfortunately, he passed away before he could complete getting it zoned residential. When Mrs. Bree contacted me a few years ago to do something with the property, she doesn't live there anymore. She can no longer take care of the property. She's moved near to her daughter in Valley Center, so she's liquidating the asset. She told me to do a project to conform to all of the city's rules and regulations. She did not want to upset the city. She did not want to upset her neighbors. She's been here in the community too long. I think we did that. I think the staff and the planning commission agrees that we did that the 27 one-acre lots are going to be an asset to the area and to the city. I certainly hope you agree, and we'll take the action tonight to approve the zoning. This is the last step towards getting the property into conformance with all of the city's rules and regulations the way Doreen wants it to be. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this time, any members of the public wishing to speak on this specific item may come forward to address the council at this time.
Mayor, council members, Jimmy Knott, 127 Sherry Lane. Since this is a general plan issue, it brought to mind a situation that Betty Harding, ex-councilmember Betty Harding, and I sat down and discussed general use plan designations. She said there was a reason for those designations, and that was community economic effect and benefit, and that the council would need to evaluate for that whether or not it is balanced and whether it would contribute to being a bedroom community or not. That is one of the key questions that we have to take and look at. Will this take and be a balanced one for industry, for agriculture, and or for a bedroom community, and how would that affect the finances for the city and for our future? And I think that's a very valid question. Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this item may come forward at this time. Mayor, I see none.
Thank you, Rick. I know the swinging none. I'll close the public hearing and come back to the council. Ms. Sanchez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One of the members of the public that I contacted was a representative from South Morrill Hills Association, and in talking with Mr. Lightfoot, I had understood that they had already met with the South Morrill Hills Association, and that there was general, after the presentation, there was general approval of the project. I think the biggest concern that I had was the transition from residential to ag, and my concern that there be enough of a buffer to ensure the continued use of ag. That you have included a condition that mandates disclosure of ag uses and also right to farm easement. I think those two, I can't think of anything else that would make sure that ag continues right next door. There is enough of a buffer, I think, where there shouldn't be too much problems. I think that we all see what it is. It's right next to ag. I'm concurring with what the residents of South Morrill Hills. They feel that this is consistent with what happened with Arrowwood, and so this kind of, as you described, the line is kind of that part of that sense of development, that there be this kind of transition. So I'm going to go ahead and move that we introduce the ordinance. Thank you.
I have a second over here. Thank you very much. Mr. Feller, please.
Thank you. One of my questions is, can Jerry have back all his golf balls from off of the northwest corner there?
Well, I just have one question. What happened to the peacocks? The peacocks are still there. And they have perfect timing. When you're right in the middle of your backswing, they scream.
I think it's just a terrific use of the property. I'd like to be the one that has the spot right in the middle on the hill, but I'm afraid it's going to be out of my range. I had a question about the sewer. You're going to connect on Stallion, and is that correct? Anybody? Okay, Lou, come on back up.
The sewer actually connects down to Greenwood on the other side of the city retention basin. The sewer in Stallion is uphill. So the sewer district actually put in a manhole on the property, and it's down there next to the city retention basin. So that's the way the sewer goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I suppose I'll miss the peacocks going off in my backswing on that tee on the lower end there, but I think you've really made a great use of the property. I don't see why anybody would actually think about opposing this. This is, it hasn't been used for farming for a long time, I don't think, and so I really welcome the new. I think the homes and the three churches out there probably benefit if they can hold on long enough to welcome people that could walk actually to church from there. So anyway, it's a great use, and so I easily hope this passes. So.
Thank you. I'm thinking if I vote no, Lou will have to come back. A wreck here last week. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please vote.
Introduce it.
Excuse me, introduce.
Lou can come back for the adoption. This is an introduction of an ordinance of the City of Oceanside amending the zoning designation of certain real property located at the north terminus of Stallion Drive and north of the intersection of Stallion Drive and North River Road from the Agricultural Aid Zone District to the Residential Estate A REA Zone District Property Zone Amendment.
Thank you. Please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Lou, thank you for your service and for all the memories.
Thank you very much, Lou. Appreciate it. Okay, number 25, please.
Yes, item number 25 is adoption of resolution approving the 2016-2017 annual Public Housing Agency Plan and authorization for the CDC chairperson to submit the plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development with the inclusion of changes made to the PHA plan as a result of public comments and execute all related documents.
Thank you. As chairperson, I open this public hearing. I request disclosure from council members.
Staff.
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 Staff only.
Okay, Secretary, Mr. Secretary, any correspondence?
All correspondences have been provided to the council.
Thank you very much. And with that, Angie, hi.
Good evening, Chairman Wood and Commissioners. I'm Angie Hannafin, Housing Program Manager. The item that I am here for tonight is the 2016-2017 Annual Public Housing Agency Plan, and I think that the documents that you were provided describe them clearly, so I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much, Angie. Please have a seat at the sidebar. We'll go from here.
This is a public hearing item. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this specific item may come to the council at this time. Mayor, I see none.
Thank you. I also see none. I'll close this public hearing and come back to the council. Ms. Sanchez.
Move adoption.
Second. Thank you very much. Jack, Mr. Feller, do you have any comments? You have one? Your light was on. Do you have any comments? You got it. Okay, please vote.
Motion approved, 5-0.
Thank you, Angie. Next time, try not to take so much time, okay? Anyhow, the next one, please.
Yes, item number 26 is approval of a substantial amendment to the 2015-2016 Annual Action Plan, reallocating additional community development block grant contingency funds in the amount of $137,632 for necessary tenant improvements for the LGBTQ Resource Center at La Mission, and authorization for the city manager or designee to execute all related documents.
Thank you. As chairperson, I'll open this public hearing and ask for disclosures.
Staff.
I visited the site, and I spoke with staff.
Staff.
Staff, I am familiar with the site, and I spoke with members of the LGBTQ Resource Center.
Staff only.
Thank you much. With that, good afternoon. We saved you for the last.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. The CDBG process requires that a substantial amendment be taken forward for public review and comment. At the May 20th, 2015 City Council meeting, CDBG funding for tenant improvements at the La Mission mixed-use project was approved and added to our CDBG activities. It's been identified that the project requires significant TI to make it meet current building standards. Additional CDBG funding allocations require a substantial amendment process and public review. Staff is present to answer any questions related to the CDBG amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Seated sidebar, please.
This is a public hearing item. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this item may come forward at this time. I see none.
I see none. Also, I'll close this public hearing and come back to the council. I have several. Ms. Sanchez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had previously approved $25,000 for this project, and this project will not only make the rent half, but also double the space, and therefore double the, probably more than triple, the ability to do the outreach and provide services. This is very much within the CDBG goals, and I'm happy to move approval for the amendment.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And Mr. Turner, please.
Just one quick question, because I kind of asked this question before, and the funding, if we don't use this, we lose this. Is that, there was something about the CDBG and the funding cycle that
Marjorie or
and what?
city manager?
It is CDBG capital money. It was allocated, so we don't lose it. It's not like our CAP money, which is public service and admin. Those have to be used within the fiscal year. The rest of the CDBG funds can be used for eligible projects.
Oh, go ahead, Marjorie. Been a while, hasn't it?
Thank you, Councilman Kern. The money isn't actually use it or lose it, but HUD does expect us to spend it within a certain time, and we've been holding on to this money for some time. So they've kind of been after us to get it spent.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Feller, please.
Thank you. I had a discussion with the city manager earlier. I still don't have the numbers, and so maybe the numbers didn't add up to me. Councilmember Sanchez just said we gave them 25,000, or we allocated 25,000, and that wasn't the case. We allocated 70,000. Or 70,000 was allocated, so. And I also have a question as to
Councilmember Feller, originally the amount that the city gave us CDBG funds was $70,000. They used approximately, $19,000, almost $20,000, leaving a balance of that original allocation of $51,168. Then the developers contributing $40,000, and with $118,632, that gets to what the proposed contract is. We're recommending that a contingency of $19,000 remain with the project. If that's not spent, then that'll come back to the city funds. So the total project, including the contingency, is $228,000.
but there's 19,000 left. You spent 19,000
correct
already, or 18,000, whatever it is, 832 or something
right.
like that. Okay, so that number, 18,000 plus the 40,000 plus the 118,000. I'm not thinking this adds up. And the 19,000, even if you made that 70,000, 40,000, 118,000, it is more than 228.
Okay. I'm not really sure how to explain it differently, but the total project is 200 and, that's the bid, right? The revised bid from the contractor is $209,800. And then we've already spent $19,800, whatever it was, on the architect.
Well, that explains, because it says 228, so that was, it says 228 in our backup.
Right, that was the original bid.
How much?
Sorry. That's why we're recommending that the 19,000 remain in as a contingency, just in case it goes over to what the original bid was.
The horse is dead. The thing that the other thing I was curious is, how much did we spend when they moved into next to Jitters?
We didn't spend any money assisting them when they went into Jitters.
And the reason, well, I'm not sure why we're spending money now, so I'm gonna abstain from this.
Not everybody? Okay. Thank you very much. Any further questions or okay, ladies and gentlemen, please vote.
Motion approved 4-0. Feller abstain.
Thank you very much. If I may, at your pleasure, please, could we have number 27?
Yes. Item number 27 is approval of a fiscal year 2016-2017 Community Development Block Grant Program budget. Approval to allocate funding for various housing and community development activities, planning and program administration, and approval to allocate grant funding for various public services and homeless programs.
As mayor of councilperson, as chairman, I'll open this public hearing and ask for disclosures.
Staff.
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 No contact.
Staff only. Any correspondence petitions?
All correspondences have been provided to the council.
Thank you very much. With that, hey, long time no see, you're up.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Cecilia Duran, Management Analyst, and I'm here tonight to answer any questions you may have on the 2016-2017 Annual Action Plan.
Thank you. Have a seat. Sidebar. Any public?
This is a public hearing item. Any members of the public wishing to speak on this item may come forward at this time. Mayor, I see none.
See none. I'll close that. Come back to the council. And Ms. Sanchez.
Move approval.
Second. Thank you very much. I have one comment. I'd like a little more clarity and maybe transparency in maybe some of these cases like came up tonight, if you can. Anyhow, that's all I had, but thank you very much. Anybody else? Thank you very much. Please vote.
Motion approved 5-0.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, have I skipped anything? I don't think so.
You've covered everything.
Thank you very much, and I'll be closing this thing to April 6, 2016, a Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. at this location. And be safe. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.